Hey YouTube, it's another hot steamy summer day here in North Carolina. I believe we got an oak. I believe it's white oak. I'm not it was out of the white oak pile that I've got, but I got it set up on there. I got the pith or the heart of the tree at the same height, so it's about 9 inches. I had to get a little creative because it's a manual mill, so we don't have any kind of hydraulics. So I actually used, let's see if I can get to the point of it. Down there, that's just a hydraulic jack, like a car jack. So I jacked this end up, got it pressed up against the bar. I'm going to take maybe 1 or 2 cuts and flatten this side out. I still haven't set the blade yet, so you'll see me go up to the log. I'll go down to the center of it and mark that measurement, and then I'm going to go up and take a couple layers off of it. So let's get started. Hey Mom, I got my safety glasses on. I got gloves on. Alright, I'll flip you around here. Figure out how. Huh. Let's see. Stand by. Alright, so we got the car jack up from underneath it. already got it unclamped. I wanted you to see, I mean, it ain't like super hard, but it ain't easy flipping these things, especially when the bark ain't too good. Flipped yet. We're getting there. Thank goodness for these rollers that are on these legs right here, and here, because they help you get it the rest of the way. Now we got it flipped. Get it all pressed up against those rollers. Get ourselves reclamped. I wanted to do a video on as much of, you know, getting started on a log, what all it entails. Alright, so we're going to fire back up and cut us a flat top on there. I'm going to cut into it first, but we might end up milling this into some dimensional lumber. See what this looks like. Alright, so we're set back up. All I did was stop the camera and flip it around so I could flip it. So we are at 15.5 inches. We're going to go up an inch just to clear everything. part that's nerve-wracking for me. So you got to remember how high your legs are. So right now we got about 7 inches. And then you got to remember your clamps. Well, they're a little bit lower. We'll be fine on that. So we can probably cut 2 slabs here, and then we'll readjust everything so that we can keep cutting it down. The wood is really pretty. I think we're just going to slab this one. It's pretty short anyway, so it's a little over 6 feet long. So I don't really see the point in trying to make a dimensional lumber out of a 6-foot board. We'll just make some slabs. I've got some white oak over here that is a little longer, that when we get to, we'll make some dimensional lumber with that. So I'm going to fire back up and we'll start making slabs. So I think it's worth mentioning. So I want to cut a 2-inch board. So we were at, that cut was at 15.5 inches. So we brought it down 14.5 inches, 13.5 inches, and then we added 1 more 1/8. So it's at 13 3/8. So the 1/8 is the thickness of the blade. That will give us a 2-inch thick slab. If anybody's got some tricks on that. So what we're doing is we're just using our, it's got a rule over here on the side. Anybody that knows much about the Woodmizers knows this. There's a ruler here. Obviously 0 is the base of the mill that the wood's sitting on. And then this orange right here, when you get into that orange, that's a little reminder that if you got your legs up on the side, that they might be in the way. So you need to, that's good for me, because that's the one thing I worry about, is hitting the legs or hitting the clamps on the other side while we're cutting. I don't know what exactly kind of wood this is, but it kind of has a stinky smell to it. Anybody that knows what that might be with that bark, let me know. Stop the video. I already got some stickers cut here. Never mind. So no, I'm not making my own stickers yet. I thought I could just break it. So if you've seen any of my other videos, I like to use the Kubinex strapping. So when I put the log back together down here, I put it all back together sort of like I cut it. So this will get flipped over. I don't know what this is. I know one thing's good looking. All right, we'll try to enjoy this one together. See what we got. That's pretty. So setting up these cameras might be, I say camera might be the hardest part of this. All right, so we were at 13 3/8, so I'm gonna go up an inch. I try to put it right at like 14 3/8. That way, if I, short-term memory. So we can cut at least one more time without having to worry about anything being in the way. So we were at 13 3/8. We're going to go 12 3/8, 11 3/8, and then take out an 8, so now we're at 11 1/4. Yep. Cut this one. It is so humid out here. Every time I put my glasses on my head, it fogs up. If you want to check out somebody that really knows what they're doing when it comes to sawing, there's a guy on YouTube. His channel is called Out in the Woods. Can't remember his name, but he seems to know what he's doing pretty good. He's got a kiln, so he's already kiln drying his wood himself. I believe he built the kiln himself at his old property. where he used to live at. And then this new place he's at, I'm assuming he just brought it over with him. It looks like the same kiln. He bought his kiln from Woodmizer, although I believe it's made by another company. Makes it for Woodmizer. I get this scraped off. Get the other one scraped off. I'll show you what we got. Something about scraping that sawdust off and revealing what's underneath. Just awesome. Now, looking at this, what I'm checking on is the flatness of it, and it stayed flat all the way to about right in here and got a little wavy. So I'm going to look in here. I'm looking for a nail. I cut a bullet in half the other day on one of these red oaks. So we'll get you a look on here. This has got to be oak. I'm pretty sure this is white oak. You can see the waves in it. I wonder if I'm going too fast. Maybe I should slow down a little bit. This power feed, see over here, this all looks fairly flat till you get about right in here. I got a little wavy. So I either hit something, or maybe I'm doing the power feed too fast. Maybe I need to go a little slower. Like I said, we're just learning here. I don't really know what I'm doing, but we're having fun. All right, so we are at 11 1/4. I'm going to go up to 12 1/4. I think it's this power feed. Yeah, you can hear it skipping. You can hear it skipping there. So, back down to 11 1/4. And now we are exactly 3 1/4 inches from our pith, which is the center of the log. And we're about 3 1/8 of an inch on this side. So I'll probably still be able to capture that just fine. Out of the Woods YouTube channel, can't think of his name, he kind of stressed that was capturing the pith of the tree. That's where it does most of the checking or breaking, drying and breaking apart. And so you want to capture that pith in one board from one end to the other. That way you don't have more than one board that checks and cracks. So we're going off of what he said and giving that a try. So right now we can either, I think it might be time to just go ahead and flip this thing over. No, because I want to get that pith out of there first. Now this is why I cut the other side flat, because if the other side ain't flat and you want to readjust your clamps, well then your log's going to teeter-totter, and you're going to lose that plane that you were cutting on. I did not learn that from watching anything. I just learned that the hard way. I realized, I want to lower these clamps some. Well, as soon as I did, the log moved because I didn't cut it flat on the other end, and then I just lost location, so I just had to go ahead and flip it over onto the flat side so I could keep everything flat, if that makes sense. We're not going to do that right now. All I want to do here is I'm going to lower these clamps or rollers down a bit so we can get one more board. You know, it'd behoove me to lower a little more and get at least 2 more boards. The joys of a manual mill, you're experiencing it right now. It's now obviously I don't know any different because I've never operated a hydraulic mill, but I sure have watched them on YouTube, and they sure do look a lot easier. But we're all living within our means here, and part of living within your means is buying the mill that you can afford to cut on. And this be it. What do you think? Can we get away with 1 clamp? Probably not. That other clamp ain't gonna go down far enough. Well, what we could do, well, I'm going to pause it because I'm going to do a little thinking on this. I don't know if I want to flip it yet or not. All right, so I readjusted our bars on this side. I've only got 1 clamp on the other side, but she seems pretty sturdy. I actually did have a piece move on me the other day because I didn't have it clamped enough. Done filled that thing up. So I saw this bucket hooked on a knothead sawing channel, and I thought, well, I gotta give that a try. So we're at 11 1/4, so 10 1/4, 9 1/4, and 1/8. That should give us a 2-inch slab. Just gonna check my clamp. Yeah. All right. Learning moment. So I don't know if you saw, but when I cut into the tree, it moved the log over just a little bit. And if you look down there, it moved enough over where it's hitting the head there. So I need to either readjust my bar, which I've got the blade in there. I probably shouldn't try to do that. Probably just back it out and maybe hit it with the chainsaw real quick. So anyway, there's a learning moment. So here's a question for you. I was reading when you're doing the stacking of your wood, your stickers should be of the same species as the wood you're stacking. Obviously mine are not. These are just pine from the hardware store. But if anybody knows, please let me know in the comments if you've heard the same thing, if that's true, and if so, you know, what, I guess you just have to have a whole bunch of oak and then just cut a whole bunch of stickers before you get into your big slabs. Trying to keep all my stickers even on the tree. That way when they dry, we don't have any warpage, hopefully. Now on this cut, I went slower. So when we scrape these off, I'm gonna see if that made a difference. I didn't change anything else but the speed of it. That seemed smooth. Check this one. Yeah, you can tell where I stopped in the tree, put a little black mark in it, but I'm pretty sure that'll be just fine. Alright, so I figured I'd give you a different angle here. We haven't cut any more slabs, same slab. We're going to try to, so this is the pith, or the heart of the log. So we're going to try to capture this in one board. Now this log had been laying out a little while, so it had already started cracking. You can see it cracking there and there and there. I didn't know, I was trying to figure out which way to turn it would be best. We just decided to just go like it was there. We'll cut this one. too slow. I think maybe I ought to go faster, but we've done that. We've gone too slow, or we've gone slower. I think maybe we ought to try going faster and seeing if that helps any. Let me try to adjust this here a little bit. We'll give that a try though. See if we can't. Maybe going faster is the ticket. Uh-oh, didn't have my gloves on. So a little bit about the channel. You know, the name of the channel is Little Windy Hill Farm Chores. You're probably thinking, well, all we've looked at is the Woodmizer. Well, that's because it's brand new to me. I bought it used and drove up to Pennsylvania to get it, the western part of Pennsylvania. And the fellow that had it, he had it about 2 years. Cut a bunch of slabs on it and decided to move on to something else. So we got it from him. Seems to be in pretty good shape. I think that this guide right here, I think it's kind of going out. It does not roll when you got the blade. When you take the tension off the blade and you put it on there, the roller on the right spins nice and free, and the one on the left has some resistance. It still rolls. Oh, a tree branch just fell over. Huh. That'll get you. So all we're doing today is 2-inch slabs. I got some other trees over there that I'm going to try making some dimensional lumber with. Probably 1.25 inches. I'm really just cutting my teeth right now, learning how the saw operates. I've been fortunate to have a source of lumber. There's a tree service up the road here that has been very gracious to let me go up there. I even used his equipment to load the logs. And then came home and unloaded it with the tractor. Now, you can see it cracking there.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Nope, that's just my phone. So the slab I just took off, that is the one with the pith in it. So hopefully, most of the cracking will be in this one that I'm scraping off. The bad part is, it does look really pretty there on the pith. It's a shame that it cracks that much. I don't know if you can see that. So we captured the pith down here. And we got sawdust in the way. Anyway, at the bottom of the screen, that's the pith right there in the middle. That is actually the first time out of the logs that I've already cut that I've been able to capture the pith. And by been able to capture it, I mean I took the time to level it up. There's something about getting this sawmill that you just want to cut stuff. And so I didn't take the time on a couple of those others. I got lucky on one of them, and it just happened to capture the pith on both ends. So we are going to lower our guide arm, or not guide arm, our braces. If you'll notice, on your bed, you've got these welded pieces that stick up about 1 inch, and they're on each bar. So you should be able to, and I think since the top is wider, well then I'm not going to be able to flip my board right over. Let's just, let me think about that. I'll get back to you. Alright, so we went ahead and flipped it. That way, we can put these down. The widest part of our log is now at the bottom. And we can snug these up against those little 1-inch welded pieces. And then there's a little attachment. Let's see if I can capture this. So if you see there, it's got a little flat end right there. So we're going to try to capture the bottom of the log right there on the edge here. Of course, once again, gotta remember to move these back. I have a heck of a time remembering that. I think this piece of wood sat out for a while, and it's a little on the soft side on the edges, so that clamp might not hold good. Go ahead and empty our bucket. What is that? Second time. I cut a log the other day and it was so wide I had to empty the bucket on every cut. Of course, we ain't gonna be able to use our bucket here in a minute anyway. Alright, 7 inches, going down to 5, actually we're going to be at 4 and 7/8. Let's see, 4 and 7/8. I gotta think this through a minute. So we do 2 1/8, 4 1/4. We need to bring this down to 4 1/4 right there. One and a quarter, 6 3/8. We're gonna skim this one. We'll just have a short board, or not so thick board. So what I did there was, so that I could get my 2-inch slab here, 2-inch slab here, and 2-inch slab there, I'm gonna have to cut a thin cut up here, which this is the top of the tree anyway, so it wasn't very wide. good time to test out the fast theory. Cut that one a little fast. Let's see how smooth it is. And we hit a knot on it. Didn't slow it down. She seems pretty straight. Well, maybe that's it. Maybe I need to go faster. Alright, so we are at 6 3/8. I'm going to go up to 7 3/8. So I won't hit my blade on the way back. 6 3/8, 5 3/8, 4 3/8, and then they got 8 more, so 4 1/4 inches. Bucket ain't no good now, it just drags around. Alright, well that is the full slab. Obviously I stopped it a few times, but we, oh, another thing that I read was that you always want your wood to smile. And by smiling, that means so the grain is going that way, right? So you want to stack your boards so that the grain, so like on the bottom of the log, it's going this way, so it's smiling. Now I don't know, you can't do that obviously if you want to strap it back to itself like a log. But on dimensional lumber, you should be able to flip them over so that the grain is going up like this on all your boards. If you know anything about that, comment down below. Alright, so this is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.